Hey guys, I'm here with Spliced, and I'm joined with Luke and Peter of Happydaze. How are y'all doing?
How's it going?
These guys stayed up kind of late for me, so I'm super, super grateful. And y'all better watch the hell out of this interview because they are sacrificing their precious sleep for me right now. So, Texas girl myself, I think it's kind of funny when I was reading up on you guys that your Battle of the Bands is in an old barn.
Yeah, that's where we met when we were like, I was 15. He was in
That's
15 as well, yeah.
crazy. Just
Yeah.
like, was it someone y'all knew? Like, was it a big to
I
do
can't,
or?
I can't really remember what it was. I think it was, so we were in different bands at the time, and I think it was like, our bass player's dad was like, he was a major player of the East Lothian, like, barn music scene up.
Yeah, I got the gig
Okay.
through my mum.
Yeah. It was definitely just like a sort of like parents know folk who are putting this thing on because like where it was is like it's a good like 25 miles outside the centre of Edinburgh. So like there's nothing really going on where we were. And I remember there was a lot of people there for it being what it was, and there was like a full skate park behind the stage. And like the drum kit, do you remember where
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
sitting on it? Like
Right on the
it was
edge.
like right on the edge. So it's like the stage was like this and the drums were just like here.
One of the
So
drummers fell off the stage.
yeah.
That's so metal though. If you
Yeah.
fall
I
off.
think you could get away with it that period of time, but yeah, it was great. It was really funny.
So the parents put that on?
Nah, it was
No,
just, I
it
think
was definitely some farmers or something. There was a studio
there
involved.
was a studio on the farm, and like they had a barn, and then in one of the barns they had a skate park, and then they built a stage in the skate park. It was just some mad thing going on outside Edinburgh, and I think our parents had somehow heard about it and were like, "You should do this."
Yeah, I remember the prizes were like it was like studio time, 50 quid cash, and like something else. And my band won it, and
All right.
we took the 50 quid cash and went and got one of our pals to buy us beer. That was the
All
night.
right.
50 quid of beer.
God. That's awesome though. What the heck? We don't have stuff like that here. Well, actually, we kind of do out in the boonies. But what a conglomerate of things in one area, a skate park, and then it's also a studio and also a music venue.
I distinctly remember being on the back of a tractor at one point of that day. It might have been like a Land Rover, but I remember it being like a tractor. And me, John, and Tom, like my other two mates who we were with, like we were just in it and we were like helping them move something. I think that was why we won because we were like, "I will help."
Yeah.
Nothing,
Oh,
nothing to
okay.
do with the music.
Like a weird version of nepotism. Y'all kind of
Yeah,
like sunk your vote in that way. That's
country
cool.
nepotism. Yeah.
What a fun story. So that's how you two met.
We literally like kept in touch like since that day. We grew up playing in different bands together, and
Yeah.
then Pete and I through. So I was recording a bunch of bands in like 2019.
I saw you
And
did a few like Nerve and a couple others.
I've been in a few different bands, but it was also like producing other bands as well. And Pete used to play with a group called Mount Doubt, and we spent 2 weeks recording in a house, recording an album in a house, which was like amazing. It was Leo the singer's mum's house, and then she went and lived in his flat for the 2 weeks, and we all moved into her house and turned the living room into the control room and one of the bedrooms into a live room. And it was great. Like we were just like that was what we'd worked on. I think there was three different bands I was working with. One of them was Pete's other band. Pete played with Mount Doubt, and then there was a band I was recording that didn't have a drummer, so I got Pete to record the drums in it. So we were just working together so much. And then I used to play in a band called Woes, and when that broke up, it was just like that was the time because I remember saying because you were in like 10 bands,
Mm-hmm.
and you came over, and I was just like Woes has kicked the bucket, and you're just like. I'll quit all the other ones. Let's just go for it. And I was just like, sick, let's go.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So I know y'all started like in 2020 before the world kind of shut down. So, and I know that kind of gave y'all some time to focus. I read that. But what was that? I know you said Woes broke up. What was like the final push to get like everybody all in Happy Days? Because everybody in the band seemed to have been in multiple bands at some point in their
Yeah.
musical career. What was the final like, okay, we're gonna do Happy Days?
When when that ended up happening, it was like so Woes for about 2 days were like, oh, we'll try it as a three piece after our singer left, and then our bass player also sung. He was like, "Nah, I think I'm done with the band thing as well." And then it was literally about 2 hours later, I'd made like 2 phone calls, and then that was us. We were ready to go. And then like through the process of us, like we literally spent well over a year in this room that we're in just now, because it was the only place that we could go. Like we couldn't go to like another studio. We couldn't even film music videos with people because you're not allowed to meet up with folks. So we learned how to do everything in here.
But we did a lot of stuff just even remotely in our flats before.
Yeah.
That. We were just on Zoom calls.
Totally. The benefit of like Pete lives 5 minutes away from here, so this was where
my living room. This is where I just come every day.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, I would control this computer off my computer while he was sitting on the drums, and then we'd have full on sessions. It was great, and that like we did record like everything up until Feel Free Radical. We recorded in this room.
Wow. Oh, so Full Free Radical, y'all didn't
we still self-produced it. So we wrote all the songs were written before we went to the studio, and then went to Treehouse.
Yeah.
Done the drums. So Treehouse is where
It's in Sheffield in England.
Yeah, Steel City.
Yeah. And it's like Sleep Token, While She Sleeps.
Bring Me the drums there.
Yeah, Bring Me done their drums there. Neck Deep have just recorded drums there. There's pretty sure like Bullet from a Valentine have done a load of stuff there. Like it's a total metal studio, and I think that's the kind of production that we've got where everything's like really refined and like super processed. It goes well with, even though we're not a metal band, to record it with that sort of level of meticulous control over everything. Like how many drums? How many drums you put?
It was like
how many around the drum kit?
It was like 24 microphones around the drum kit, whereas in here we do like 8 max.
Oh, gotcha.
Like making up everything.
How did y'all also kind of decide on a sound? Because I noticed a lot of y'all stuff kind of like in the previous ones for all the members was kind of shoegazy and pop punky. In my opinion, is kind of what it sounded like. How did y'all kind of come to all right, this is what we want to sound like?
I think it's just a process of. It was like we were playing some shows over the weekend there, and on the way to the Glasgow show, I was scrolling through trying to find an old demo of the song we're releasing on Friday.
Yeah.
And in the folder, I found like a bunch of demos that I'd completely forgotten about. So like, lockdown started, and I called them the Q demos, the quarantine demos, and there was like all of the songs have been up until like. Pretty much when we released Underground Summer Sound, they were all like Q demos. Like there was a few of them that were beforehand. So like we'd already written like Go Wrong, Talk About, All the Way.
What's it for?
Yeah, What's It For?
Closer was a Q song.
Yeah, Closer. Was it? I don't even know if it was. Maybe it was, yeah.
There was about 40 of these demos that he had.
Yeah. There was about 40 that were written in that first like year. So it was almost a song a day. Of like going through a song a week rather, of just like a song a day, 50 days a day.
Hey,
just lost count. It was like, but some of them, like there's so many ideas as well for like in those days or in the weeks of writing. Like you would do like 4 bars, and I'd be like, nah, I'm not really feeling this. Yeah. Or I was sitting like learning how to use Ableton, or like learning how to use Photoshop, or how to edit video, because like through all that it was like, I've got time to learn how to do all these things that will be beneficial for us in the future.
Yeah.
And like as a result of doing all that, like we shot a music video on Sunday, and I've edited it and sent it off to the label to be released on Friday. So hopefully they like it.
Whoa! So you already have the Piece of Me video done?
Yeah.
Holy cow! Did y'all do it? I know y'all are both into photography and stuff. Did y'all like record it?
Yeah. We done this one ourselves again. Yeah.
Started it on Tuesday, finished it.
Yeah, we shot half of it last Tuesday. We got a really cool location, and then like Pete arrived at it. He was just like, "We need to come back with the drums. Like I want to play drums in here." So, and I was like, "Yeah,
oh, it's the drums."
Yeah. So yeah, we went back. We played the shows on Friday, Saturday. Went back on Sunday. Finished doing all the shots. Got right into the edit, and then finished it this afternoon. So.
Whoa, okay, so y'all been like heavy at work.
Yeah, we've been.
He has.
I had the support of all the boys.
Yeah, he spent the entire day yesterday editing it on his laptop.
Yeah,
Hey, I don't blame you. Sometimes when you get in a groove, especially with editing, and you already kind of see the vision, it's best if you can knock it out in that same day if you don't get any
Totally,
like burnout. Because holy
totally.
cow, if I come back to it a different day and I don't have my like stacking kind of how I like directing I'll forget it. I will forget that idea and then it just does not come out as full.
No,
How do
totally. I
you even get
completely
into
get it.
photography and stuff? That's crazy. Or not crazy, but that's like really cool to hear.
You bought a camera for like the band.
Yeah, I was really, really into the idea of getting something that looked like professional enough, like better than a phone. And I
Yeah.
really, really like filming. I love movies. I love like anything about like. But a lot of my inspiration from it came from like watching YouTubers and vloggers. Like I'm a massive, massive Casey Neistat fan,
Oh,
and the way and the
dude.
way that he makes these like really, really simple and effective movies are great. And like I mean, like I've tried it a few times. I think I've spent 3 days where I have intentionally tried to film like every single moment of a day and like make a movie out of it. And imagining doing that every day for however long he done it for, like 500 days consecutively, filming and editing. Like that would it'd be man. I mean, as you say, you get into the flow of it. As soon as you sit down, you remember the day you had, but like it's surreal when you do it, and then you just watch your day back.
Yeah.
Like holy shit, this is bizarre. I'm watching the day that I've just had from like a slightly sideward angle. It's really bizarre, but
Very
not.
meta. Very
Yeah,
meta.
totally, totally. But and then you realize how much shit you talk like, all the time, and you try and make it entertaining for someone else. And I think that that's what's really difficult as well is that we can have the camera out the whole time, and then like once you make a video that you're like, oh yeah, it's me and my mates and we're having a good time, but you're like, will anybody else like relate to this relate to this in any way? Is this just for me? Am I only finding this funny? So I think that's why it's good to do this sort of stuff for other people. It's difficult to do that for yourself because you have to be really subjective and like am I entertaining? You know what I mean?
Right.
Whereas
Yeah.
someone else is making it, they're making the things that they found entertaining and they're presenting you in a different way than you would maybe present yourself. Very philosophical. Too philosophical for a Tuesday night, you know?
Hey, you know what? You could always try doing Vlogmas. You know, Zoella and Alfie Days, they do Vlogmas, and that's I think how they kind of got used to it. Get you a little was it a Canon G7X and just go to town, dude. You'll take it on the next tour.
Yeah, we've got so much footage of us in the studio or behind the scenes, but the things that actually go out are the music videos that we make ourselves. That's the thing that people see, the product people see of us having a camera. Is
Yeah.
the videos. But we have endless, endless hours of us just fucking about in this room for the past 3 years, and we should
So
probably
what you're
show those.
saying is we have a documentary that is just yet to be made.
That's what we keep on telling ourselves.
That's our excuse for not putting them out.
Yeah, and that's also our excuse for not deleting like everything. It's like, what if there's like a tiny little moment in this that somebody could use that would be really helpful? And
Like us getting the football off the roof.
oh yeah. There's just like there's so many daft videos that we've got, and yeah,
Well,
they're all,
keep them. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
signed. You're already signed rather quickly. So and things are kind of steamrolling. I mean, y'all are getting traction. That documentary could need to go out sooner than you think.
Yeah, totally. I don't know who would allow to direct it.
Yeah, and how much of the footage would make the cut.
Totally. We would send them like 20 hard drives full of just like me playing the same riff for an hour in the studio, not speaking, just raging. You know?
3 days later, the
Yeah,
same
literally.
riff. Well,
It's good to be able to have that stuff for down the line because it means we can always go back and like it's good for us to just have those memories as well. We can look back at it. But I think it's going back to Casey Neistat in one of his vlogs. I remember him saying he doesn't delete anything. He's kept everything, and I'm like, okay, well that's what I've got to do.
We just need to work out how to keep that.
Yeah, it's all about the storage space. Not got enough.
do you imagine that man's like hard drives? They're probably like massive and just stacked.
I can.
Holy cow.
I'm just such a superman. I can just tell you it's on one of those old Mac computers, the big silver ones.
Oh,
Full of storage. Yeah.
holy cow.
You can go and access any of it at any moment just by like date and search and all that. Yeah.
I'm not that organized. I wish I could do that. I probably need to do that.
I've tried to do it recently. It doesn't work. He's pretty organized. His computer's pretty organized, but I've got a hard drive on the studio computer and it's chaos. and
Yeah.
it's full.
My husband will go and try to like find stuff. I'm like, hey, it's in this file. He's like, but where's that file? Where's that file, babe? I'm like, just type it in. He's like, I don't even want to touch it. So I feel that. I want to ask because I couldn't see anything from what I was looking at you guys. Is this the first time in any of y'all's bands that y'all have been signed?
I in my previous band we were signed to Unified.
Okay. I've never heard of them.
UNFD is the Australian label. It's like Northlane.
Oh, okay. I know who Northlane is.
Yeah. So it's that
Okay.
sort of group there.
Well, how are y'all liking working with Thriller Records slash kind of in Vogue? I mean, how's it going? They seem to really be
I
doing
mean,
good on y'all stuff.
super supportive of us. Like the creative control that they've given us over everything that we put out. Like it's to the point where like if they say something, we absolutely listen because like
Wow.
so rarely will they have a problem with what we're giving them, which is really good. You know, like when we do these videos ourselves, there's obviously the risk of it being like, is it good enough for what they want? Is it, you know, is it up to the scratch of what they need to have? And every single time they just be like, yeah, this is amazing. And like, you know, backing us to just keep doing more.
How did y'all know that Thriller was going to be the right move for you guys? Did y'all know that going into it that y'all were going to have this much creative control?
I feel even like from the first conversations we were having with them, they were quite upfront about that.
Yeah.
Like felt like they weren't telling us what to do. They weren't trying to parent us through anything. It was very like
They want to work with us.
they liked what we were already doing, so they were like, let's just continue that.
Do that and then just
We
support you from
had
there.
a good feeling from the start. Yeah.
It ended up like the pacing of, because at the time we'd had a couple of conversations with a couple of different record labels. We'd had a couple of offers through, which were like amazing. And then it came to getting a message from Nick, who had heard our song Bad Taste had come out on the Friday in this, whenever it was, in April 2021.
Yeah.
And then on the Sunday, it had come up algorithmically in one of his playlists that he was listening to on Spotify. He
Yeah.
reached out to us. We had a phone call on the Monday, and on the Wednesday they sent the first offer through. So it was just like we could tell that they were really keen to work with us. It's only been positive. Like the relationships that they've given us to it, introducing us to people like Mike Green, who we wrote Feel Free Radical with, and like we do the backing vocals on the new Sum 41 single because of that as well, which is absolutely hilarious. So
I saw that. That's so cool.
yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous, and it's just like all these little, just like encouraging moments for everything that we've been through. Getting, you know, we've released these EPs and we're still releasing more music, and then just they're just like, keep it coming, keep it going. So we're doing our best to work hard for them.
That's amazing. And speaking of new music, you know, I loved Been and Gone. I heard it and it really resonated to me, the whole like losing touch and kind of getting lost in the sauce a little bit. I've had a bad habit of that because the music industry seems to go like this, and if you're not also going like this, you almost feel like you're missing out. So I was wondering, with Piece of Me coming out on Friday, if we could get a little background into that before it drops, as to what that one may be about.
Yeah, so that was Q demo 15.
He first
Okay.
sent me the demo for that in 2020. I remember it was like May 2020. I remember I was in the studio. We were doing some Zoom calls and stuff. He sent me that. I went for a walk because we were really close to the beach. I listened to it and I was like, this is going to be like, we're going to record this. It took us 3 years to do it, but we did it. It just kind of sat on the back burner.
Yeah.
It never really got its
It was
time
like
to shine.
I'd say it's like our poppiest song that we've ever done. It's like it's sonically very different to Being and Gone. It's like, but that's the thing that I really enjoy about our sound, is that we can do that. We can go along this sort of weird scale of not needing every song to sound exactly the same as each other for it to fit in a box, because I don't think that we really do fit in that. Like we don't fit in a small box. we might fit in a pop punk box, but we don't fit in a small pop punk box. It's the So yeah, it started off with like an acoustic guitar and a beat, and I felt almost like the lyrics aren't something that I would have ordinarily done, but writing that song like brought me into like a new bit of confidence in how to like write lyrics, and just sort of, and that's, but like that's, bear in mind that's been written like before like the majority of the songs that we have released now already. And yeah, actually, I wrote it with Sam from Neck Deep
Oh,
over, over a
wow.
few Zoom calls because our manager at the time, now drummer of Neck Deep, Matt Powles, he was they were living together, and I was sending him these demos, and he overheard that, and he was setting up his online rig, and I was just like, mate, let's just send the session back and forward, just like we. So it sort of started with the beat, and then he added like a next sort of section, and then I wrote some vocals over that, added some more guitars, and it was by the end of it, there was like 50 guitar tracks at the bottom of it.
Oh,
It was
wow.
just it was this like huge like acousticy pop punk kind of sound, and like listening to stuff like Oliver Tree and Gene Dawson and things like that over the last couple of years, it just didn't feel. I cringe to say the word, but it didn't feel cool enough with the acoustic guitar. So we like completely redone the production, and I think it's on like version 5 now that like of like the song because we wanted to do it on every record, but like it's not done, it's not done, it's not done. And then we went down, and I think it was just working on it in the studio, having the time restriction of the studio, working on it in the studio together, like those two factors combined, and then just stripping everything away and just really being like, when we're listening to this section, out of the 50 guitars, what are the notes that are like really like coming out? And that's what we would focus on, and then record that really, really clear and like, yeah, just dissect it a lot more. Same with the we've got one more song that we're going to release this year, and we've already done that as well. So
When are
it's
we getting a full album? Like, I love the singles, I love the LP. When's the album coming, guys?
well, I think that an album needs to be at the right kind of point because we released Feel Free Radical, and like it's on us. We need to be pushing these songs and doing what we want to do, but we also like, because we're creating and we've created so much, to not release that when it's not really being considered as like a full body of work, because like so much goes into the album. That's like the journey, it's the process, it's like the sound that you're going to try and sculpt and make this like continuous thing, but it's also retaining other people's interests in something that you're going to put that much effort into. I think that we need to find what we really want to say before we create like a massive body of work. And the best way for us to do that is to like show where we're at in a more sort of like, this is this song, this is this song, this is this song, and space it out to be able to retain people's interest and keep us in favor with the algorithm overlords.
Right.
And I
Right.
think it's the thing that over the years of us doing whatever it is that we're doing, the two things that people enjoy us doing is touring and releasing music.
Yeah.
And if we're not going to be touring, then we're going to release music. So
Yeah.
that's
I
what
can
we're doing.
tell that y'all really put a lot of, not that other bands don't, but the way y'all speak, not only about how you write and how you record demos, but like how y'all produce and work together. Y'all seem so incredibly passionate, and like the fact that y'all aren't rushing to make an album as like the steam starts rolling for you guys really says something to how y'all like take this like extremely seriously and like with a lot of like intention. So I'm excited to see when y'all do finally release an album what that's gonna be like. I have a feeling it's gonna be unlike anything probably before, especially with the horde of demos you have. Because I assume there's probably some of those demos that you're holding off on because they're
Yeah,
probably gonna go to an
we've
album.
always got to keep a couple of good ones in the bank, I would say. Yeah,
Oh, oh yeah, oh yeah.
but we've
Well,
got none.
well, guys, before we sign off, I kind of want to ask you kind of my favorite question to ask people, a little fun one. What are the last 3 songs that you listen to on Spotify or Apple Music, whatever you use? But I'm just gonna say if you use Apple
I was
Music.
on my phone and this because I was listening to some Blink today.
We're Spotify suckers. I know this is kind of cheating, but it's because I've been going through the same. So I'm treating my Spotify like it's an iPod, and I just listen to the same sort of 5 songs on rotation. And
Okay.
then the new Oliver Tree record, "Alone in a Crowd," is absolutely amazing. The,
Okay.
the I guess the opening song on that is the one that always kind of takes it, but there's the tune "One and Only" is really good. It's got a really good synth line in it, and it's. I love the lyric. "I love you till I don't exist here anymore." Just that pause, and "I love you till I don't." That got me. And
Okay, let's do it.
there's a band from Edinburgh called Redolent, and they have a new single out now called "Nothing Bad Will Ever Happen to Me." I always need to remember it. and I'd try to sing
Okay.
along with it without listening to the music. Like as I'm cutting about, I'm like, what's the timing on that melody? It's so interesting.
They're a
It's so
crazy
cool.
band. I've been listening to a lot of Dominic Fike as well. I know Lucas
Oh,
too. Big Dominic Fike fans.
Mm.
oh yeah.
Yeah, we just having a Blink 182 time, listening to the new music, and then it rolled on to listening to Take Off Your Pants and Jacket.
Okay. All right. I've been
You
listening to
guys today that our algorithm is identical because I was like, oh, I was listening to this song that came on the other day. We should have something that's got, you know, that song. It's just like it's sugar on the asphalt. That one. I was like, oh, I'll listen to this song. We need a chorus that hits as hard as that. And he was like, I was listening to that song the other day. How's that? And I was like, did you listen to More Than You Know by Blink? And then it just like went on artist radio. I was like, yeah. I was like, Empty Space by Story So Far. I was like, yeah, the Next Again song is the exact same.
Do y'all have like a join playlist? Do y'all know how to do that?
We don't have that.
We don't need to do that. We're already listening to the same
We'll
music.
probably just send each other the same song if we did that.
Well,
So-
it'll like tell you who's what and then who has stuff together. So it'll like I don't know if y'all have done that with anybody else, but I have it with my husband and then with my friend Bailey, and it'll put like so many songs that we both listen to all the time, and then songs that each person listens to that's different than the other. So you can kind of get a taste of like more of the person. You should do it, especially if y'all are pretty close, because y'all might not always be as close as you think. There might be some like thrash metal on there somewhere, and you're like, oh, Pete, where did this come from?
When you've been like sort of like consistently doing the same sort of shit.
It's literally all of our music interests would be exactly the
It's
same.
like 15 years of identical music listening, just like slapping them together. You know what I mean?
Hey,
We filled the gaps about 10 years ago, and since then we've just been doing it normally.
we're the same person at this point, guys. So sorry.
Yeah.
You have one of us, you have us both.
I think he's more gutted about it than I am.
Oh. You're like, what is it called? Fraternal twins, where you don't look alike, but you're twins. That makes you two. Oh, new merch idea.
Yeah.
It could be us sort of like joined like this with one
Yeah,
sort
but
of,
our legs are down here. You can't see them.
as one mermaid tail, and the two of us are coming out like this.
Yes, when that comes out, I would love an extra large, so it's big and baggy and comfy. So just like let me know. Slide
Yeah,
it.
Send it over.
Yes.
That is a great idea, though. That is a great idea. Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should get it so that it's just all the boys sort of like linked together and one sort of like horrible creature.
Do it like in like Sailor Jerry theme. Like
yeah.
that would be sick.
Mm.
Okay. I'm gonna try and draw something tonight. I'm not an artist, but like I feel like this should happen.
You give us the mock-up, and then we'll give it to our bassist now, Rory. He just moved on to the bass. He's killing it.
Yeah. Okay.
And but yeah, he's really good at the old Procreate drawing.
Ooh. Okay. Heard. I'm gonna do that. Oh, I'm so excited now. Okay.
He needs to use less colors if we can afford them to get printed on t-shirts.
Here, we'll make two versions. Just gray wash, black and white, and then like we'll have color to when we get some like momentum from the gray wash one.
Yeah.
That's color one could be for tour. Could be a tour special.
Tour special, yeah.
Marketing genius right here, guys. I got you.
This isn't a podcast. This is a business meeting.
Thank you so much. I'll send you my contract later.
Yeah. Sweet.
Well, guys, thank you so much for sitting and meeting with me. This has been really fun. I've never like met anybody from Scotland before, and I have a little bit.
I think that you should honestly, you need to give yourself a pat on the back for not having one like what are these boys saying? Because I'm really really bad at going full Scottish and like speaking really fast and saying words that are only used in Edinburgh, never mind Scotland.
So fun fact, we grew up like I wasn't from a super affluent family. We were fine, middle class, but we didn't have cable TV, right? I grew up on KERA and BBC because that's all we could get. And my dad, he speaks a lot of German because his family is German. And so, or like, yeah, I think we're 2 lines away from like having actual like German speaking relatives. That's all they speak. So I heard a lot of like European, Scottish like accents growing up. So you could probably go full on and I'd probably know what you're saying.
Nice.
That's impressive.
Nice. That's good.
So-
That's good. Hopefully, anybody who's watching this knows what we're saying.
Yeah, we might have to put some
Oh,
subtitles.
subtitles.
Really wrong.
I got you. Well, guys, before we sign off, is there anything you want to say to the people? I know Piece of Me comes out Friday, but is there anything else you want to add?
Piece of Me coming out Friday.
Okay.
Go listen to the new Sum 41 single of us singing the woes. But yeah,
It's
no,
this year.
I'm so excited to release Piece of Me. It's a song that has been waiting to come out since it was written 3 years ago, and it's finally seen the light of day. The music video we're super proud of. The boys look real cool in it, so it's all that matters, really.
He's a little biased because he may or may not have like done a lot of the video work, but it's totally fine. But anyways,
Yeah.
Q50.
Coloured it so it looks like I've got a tan and I'm not pure pale.
Well, guys, Q50, otherwise known as Piece of Me, is coming out Friday, and we look forward to seeing more from the guys soon. Bye, y'all.